So Dad, of course, asked me to marry him, and I accepted. I thought that was rather...
What about your courting? You told me about when you...
Oh yes, we went dancing in the big hotels. Everybody was having fun, so we were having as well. We went with lots of friends, always out here, there and everywhere, and Dad had the most horrible little, I think it was an Austin car. It was maybe as big from you to the wall. It was a really
small?
Very small, very rattly thing.
What, was it two-seater?
No, it was four-seater. But you had to sit with your knees right up under your nose when you sat in the back. But anyway, so we decided that we wanted to get married, so he had to come and ask, because my mother, whether he was allowed to go and marry me. It was different then. And because they heard it, and we had Opa Max, we had Block, which was married to a sister of my dad, and he was a colonel in the army.
Yeah.
He was there too after the war. And there was Jan, Tante Loes's husband, from the police, and there was someone else again. And they decided you had a front veranda in each Indonesian house, all covered up with pillars and steps to the garden for the coolness, you see. In the evening you sat down there, it was cool. You always sat there. You had the table there and chairs. So they decided they'd go and sit there in the front garden. All these men, 4 of them, sitting there waiting for Opa to come and ask, not my mother, who wasn't to be seen, but them, whether he could marry me. And of course, they had all kinds of awkward questions for him. They really said, and what about this, and what about that, and what about the other thing? So he was really taken to the cleaners, poor thing. But apart from that, all of a sudden, Frans was there too, my brother.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the gate opened up and somebody came in and we had a look, and it was my former fiancé. Well, I weren't really, but my former friend, which I had been close with for many years before the war. But when the war was over, I thought, well, I'm not sure about my feelings.
Oh, yeah.
So I wrote to him and I said, it's okay, I won't do anything now. I said, but when you come here, don't expect me to be straight away full of love and kindness. And that's what my brother told me, because he was there, immediately went after a 16-year-old girl and got engaged. So his mother, very upset, came to tell my mother, because I didn't know. And my mother called me in and told me. And I was pleased, of course, because I could go out at last like all the others. I could have fun. I wasn't supposed to sit home anymore and wait for him. And his mother saw, of course, my face light up. And she said, I think she's happy about it. She was very angry about that. Well, it was her son who gave me up. It wasn't me. So anyway, the gate opened up and there he was. And my goodness, they all looked. And I said to Frans, go get him away, Because this was no situation, of course. For
you said that to Frans?
Yeah, Frans.
You there as well? Also?
Yes, of course. I was asked. And Frans got up and stopped him halfway and took him to my grandmother, which lived on the other corner of the street. So, and there he was told, of course, that it was too late. It was all sealed that night, just a few minutes before he came in. So
bad timing.
bad timing. God, was that ever bad timing? But that was it. And later, a few years later, I was in Europe, and I had Rick. And Rick was a lovely baby once he was fed.
No, yeah.
Everybody used to stop at the pram and say, "Oh, what a lovely baby," and talk to him. And I went into a shop, photographer shop it was, and I saw the mother of my old fiancé of unended. And I thought, oh my God. Anyway, I just stood there with Rick in the pram. And she walked, and she saw the baby, and she went, "Oh, what a lovely baby," and this and that. And then she looked up, and she saw me, and she whooshed, went straight past me out of the shop. God, I'll never forget that.
That's in Holland.
Yeah, that was in Holland. And I hadn't done anything. It was her son who'd done it.
Yeah.
So anyway.